Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter System of Linear Equations, and the lessons we're going to cover today are classify a system of equations by graphing, classify a system of equations, solve a system of equations using substitution, solve a system of equations using elimination. Please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Let's just start with the lesson. So here I am on grade 8 math. We are already working on the chapter System of Linear Equations. So if you need help with the lesson, you can just go through the lesson I did in the previous session, like I did on Tuesday, right? Just search the YouTube channel, just write down the lesson name there, and you can get lessons. So let's just start with the first lesson, that is classify a system of equations by graphing. So let's just start with the lesson. Okay, the first one is graph these equations. The equations given are y equal -1 over 2x plus 4 and x equals -4. So you have to graph these equations and classify the system of equations. A system of equations can be classified as follow. If the two lines are parallel, right? Parallel lines never intersect each other. That means the system is inconsistent and with no solution, right? If two lines intersect at one point, the system is consistent and independent and only one solution. If the two lines are the same, the system is consistent and dependent with infinitely many solutions. So just look at the graph, right? First you have to graph the equations. We have already done the lessons in the last session how to graph them. So you are given the equation that is, but they are already given graphed. That means you just have to classify. Let's just start with the test question and see what we have to do. Okay, graph these equations. Y equals -2x minus 4 and y equals -2x minus 6, but you have. Okay, let's see how to graph. The first equation is y equals -2x minus 4. Just compare this equation to the general form of the equation, that is y equals mx plus b, right? So for the first equation, the slope is -2 and the point of the y-intercept is -4. That is x is 0, y is -4. For the second equation, the slope is m equals negative 2 and the y-intercept is 0, negative 3, right? So when you look at this graph, here is the intercept, y-intercept at negative 3, and here is the another intercept that is negative 4. So here is one y-intercept that's negative 3 and the one at negative 4, right? That means the graph of the first graph is true. The two lines are parallel, they never intersect each other, and the system is inconsistent. Got it? So the first graph is the correct one. That is the graph of these equations. Got it? The next one is y equals negative x minus 1 and y equals negative x plus a. If you see, look for just two things, slope and the y-intercept, you can identify which is the correct option, right? For these equations, for the first one, the slope equals negative 1 and the y-intercept is 0, negative 1. That means the graph touches the y-axis at negative 1. Just look at this one, right? Here the graph is touching the y-axis at negative 1. Now for the second one, the slope is negative 1 and the y-intercept is 0, 6. That means the graph is touching the y-axis at 6. So isn't the first one the correct option? Yes, it is. Option number 1 is the correct option. The graph never intersect each other. They are the parallel lines and the graph is inconsistent with no solution. Got it? Okay, the next one is graph these equations y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 4 and x equals negative 4. So which is the correct option? Here is the graph given. So option 1 or option 2, which is the correct option? Option number 2 is the correct option. Here is the line for x equals negative 4 and for the second equation, the y-intercept is at 4, right? That means the graph must be touching the y-axis at 4. So option number 2 is the correct option, right? If you need to identify the graph, you must know the two things about the graph, the slope and the y-intercept, right? So the second option is the correct one. If you have any question related to the lesson, you can please ask. Also, we have covered in the last session how do we plot these equations. If you need help with plotting the graph, you can go search the channel, find the lesson and help them. Graph these equations x equal to and x equals negative 1, right? So here is the graph, the first one. But when you are given the equations like this, x equals 2 and x equals negative 1, that means they must have a straight line on x equal to and x equal. Here is x equals to the straight line on x equal to, and here is the straight line on x equals negative 1, right? So the lines never intersect each other, so they are the system is inconsistent, right? The correct option is option number The basic thing here for this lesson is you must know how to plot the equations, right? And again, if you want to identify the graph, you need two things. The one is slope, and the other you need is the y-intercept, right? The very important thing is y-intercept. If you just look at the y-intercept, you can identify the equations, right? Okay, the next one is y equals 2 by 3x plus 2 and y equals negative 2. So which is the correct option? Just look at the second equation, y equals negative 2. Here you have a straight line on negative 2, right? And for the first one, y equals 2 by 3x plus 2. The y-intercept is at 2, right? Positive 2. So here is the y-intercept. So option number 1 is the correct option. Got it? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is solve a system of equation but classify a system of equation also. Classify a system of equation. Okay. Describe which describe the system of equations below. So you are given two of the equations to see the system of describe the system of equations, right? A system of equations can be classified as follows. If the slopes are same but the y-intercepts are different, the system is inconsistent, right? If the slopes are different, the system is consistent and independent. If the slopes are same and the y-intercept are same, the system is consistent and dependent. Now the equations given are y equals negative 8x plus 6. So the slope is negative 8 and the y-intercept is 6 for first equation, right? For the second one, the slope is negative 5 over 6 and the y-intercept is 5 over 9. So the slopes are different and the y-intercept is also different. That means the line intersect at one point and the system is consistent and independent, right? The correct option is consistent and independent. You have to look for two things, slope and y-intercept, right? Okay, describe the which describes the system of equations below. Y equals 3 by 8x plus 4 over 5, right? And the second one is y equals 5 by 6x minus 7 over 8. So for the first equation, the slope is 3 over 8 and the y-intercept is 4 over 5. For the second one, the slope is 5 over 6 and the y-intercept is negative 7 over 8, right? So both the equations have different slope. That means the line intersect at one point. The system is consistent and independent. Option number 2 is the correct. 3 is the correct option. The system is consistent and independent. Got it? When the slopes are different, the system is consistent and independent. Got it? The next one is which describes the system of equation below. Y equals 5 by 2x minus 4 and y equals 5 by 2x plus 7 over 5. So the slopes are for both the equations, the slope is exactly same, right? When you have the same slope, the system is inconsistent. They never intersect each other, so the system is inconsistent. Got it? Which describes the system of equations below, which is the correct option. Y equals negative 3x minus 2 and y equals negative 3x minus 3 over 4. Which is the correct option? The correct option is both the equations have exactly same slope, so that means the system is, when you have the same slope, that means they never intersect each other and the system is inconsistent. Got it? The correct option is second one. Which describe the system of equations below. Y equals 3x minus 5 and y equals 3x minus 5 over 8. Which is the correct option? The correct option is they have exactly same slope, right? Both the equations have same slope, so again the system is inconsistent. The correct option is inconsistent. Which describes the system of equation below. The correct option is y equals 3x plus 5 by 8. The second one is y equals 3x minus 9 by 2. So they both the equations have the same slope, that is m equals 3, right? That means the system is inconsistent. Got it? The correct option is inconsistent. Okay, the next one is which describes the system of equations below. Y equals 2x plus 1, y equals negative 10 over negative 9 over 10x minus 2 over 9. So which is the correct option? The correct option is that both the equations have different slope, right? That means they must intersect at one point and the system is consistent and independent. The correct option is consistent and independent, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to the next lesson, and the next lesson is the substitution method, I think. Solving the system of equations by using substitution. Solve a system of equation using substitution. Let's just start with an example, right? And start with test questions. This one is already solved. You can have a look on this one later today, right? Okay, the next one is solve using substitution. X plus 2y equals 9 and x equals negative 3, right? X plus 2y equals x equals negative 3. You already have a value of x equals negative 3, right? So you just have to substitute this value in equation number 1 and calculate the value of y. This question is this easy because x value is already given, right? But this is not the case in every equation. Maybe we'll find the other one, then we'll do. So just substitute the x equals negative 3 in equation 1 and solve for y. Negative 3 plus 2y equals, I think, negative 9 or 9. 9 it is, I think. Yes, 9, not negative 9. Right? Move negative 3 other side. That would be 9 plus 3. 2y equals 12. Divide both sides by. That would be y equals 6. The correct option is y equals 6. The correct option is y equals 6. So that means the solution of the system is x is negative 3 and y is 6. So that is negative 3 and 6. Right? The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option. Got it? Okay, the next one is solve using substitution. 2x minus 2y equals 4 and x equals 4. Okay, so do the same thing. Substitute x equals 4 in the first equation. That would be 2 times 4 minus 2y equals 4. So that is negative 2y equals 4. 2 times 4 is 8 and move 8 other side. That would be 4 minus 8. So negative 2y equals negative 4. Divide both sides by negative 2. So that would be y equals 2. The correct option is y equals 2. So you are given x 4 and y equals 2. So the system of equation is 4 and 2. Right? Option number 1 is the correct option. The correct option is 4 2. Equation number 1 is the correct option. Got it? Solve using substitution. 10x minus 10y equals 20. You are given y equals 6. So which is the correct option? Option number 1 is the correct option because you are given the y equals 6. So here y equals 6. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, solve using substitution. Which is the correct option? Solve the question on your notebook and write down the answer in the chat box. So which is the correct option? Yes, the correct option is option number 1, right? Option number 2 is the correct option. Sorry. -4, -3, option 2 is the correct option. Okay, solve using substitution. Y equals -5, and the second equation is -5x, -7y equals 10. So, which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? The correct option is option number, yes, option number 2 is the correct option. 5 and -5 is the correct option. Solve using substitution. Y equals -2 and 4x plus y equals 14. Which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 1 is the correct option. That is 5 and -2 option. 4 and -2. -2. 14 plus 2 is 16. Yes, that is 4. The correct option is 4 and -2. The correct option is 4 and -2. Okay, the next one is solve using substitution. X equals 6 and the other equation is 2x plus 7y equals 5. So, which is the correct option? The correct option is option number 2, that is 6 and -1. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson, and that is solve the linear equation by using elimination method, right? These are the different methods to solve the linear equation, system of equations, sorry, not linear equation. Elimination method. Solve system of equations using elimination, right? So basically here we have to eliminate one of the variable. Either we can add the equations or subtract the equations, eliminate one of the variable, calculate the value of the other variable, and then like this one, solve using elimination. Just look at the equations 9x plus 7y equals 15, and the other equation is negative 9x negative 10y equals negative 6, right? First, you have to add both the equations, right? When you add the equations, you can see the variable x have the same coefficient 9 and negative 9. They both 9 minus 9 is 0, right? 7 minus 10 is negative 3y, and 15 minus 6 is 9, right? You just added both the equations, nothing else. So you just calculate the value of y, that is y equals negative 3, right? You have now the value of one of the variable. You can put y equals negative 3 in any of the equation and calculate the value of y. That is 9x plus 7 times negative 3 equal 15. So 9x equal negative 21 equal 15. Move 21 other side. 9x equal 15 plus 21, that is 36. So 9x equal 36, that means x equal 4. So you the solution of the system is 4 and negative 3. Option which is the correct option? Option 1 is the correct option, right? Okay, the next one is, so you have to see which variable have the same coefficient, or if they are not same, you can make them same by multiplying or dividing by a specific number, right? So here you can see the equations are 3x minus 4y equal 9 and 3x minus 2y equals negative 3. Both the equations have the same coefficient for x variable, right? But you cannot add them because they both are positive. You can subtract both the equations and eliminate the variable x. 3x minus 4y equals 9 and 3x minus 2y equals negative 3. You are subtracting. So all the signs are changed. 3 minus 3 is now 0. Plus 4 and minus 2 is minus 2y. And 9 plus 3 is 12. So that means y equals, you need to divide both sides by negative 2. That is y equals negative 6, right? Now you have the variable value of the variable y. You can substitute the value of y in any of the equation and solve for x. 3x minus 4 times negative 6 equal 9. So 3x equal 9 minus 24, that is 3x equal negative 15, and x equals negative 5. So the correct option is negative 5 and option number 1 is the correct option, right? The solution is negative 5 and negative 6. The next one you have to do on your notebook, you have to just try tell me the answer, right? The next one is solve using elimination. So for both the equations, x have exactly the same coefficient, including the sign. We need to subtract both the equations. Which is the correct option? That is negative 6 and 3. Option number 2 is the correct option. Got it? Yes, very good. That is option number 2. Okay, solve using elimination. Negative 3x plus 10y equals negative 7 and negative 3x plus 6y equals negative 15. Which is the correct option? Which is the correct option? That is equation number 1. 9 2 is the correct option. Option number 1 is the correct option. Negative 3x plus 4y equals negative 20. And the other equation is negative 3x plus 3y equals negative 12. So which is the correct option? That is equation number. The solution of the system is negative 4 and 8. Option number 2 is the correct option, right? Negative 8. Mm-mm. Yes, negative 8. It is the solution is negative 4 and negative 8. Yes, option number 1 is the correct option, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 8 math. The chapter we're working on is system of linear equations, and the lessons we have covered today are classify a system of equations by graphing, classify a system of equations, solve a system of equations using substitution. You can do the word problems on your own, right? And solve a system of equations using elimination. You can do word problems on your own, right? So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we have just did. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help with the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. Or either you can join me in the interactive session that would be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10. So if you have any question related to the lesson we have just finished, you can ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. No questions? Okay, that's all for today. See you in the next session.